I saw a lot of requests to do a basement tour update. And since I'm covering vacations this week, I thought, oh, this is the perfect time to give you an update to see how the basement is looking so far. This was the basement when we started decluttering it again. I had started decluttering it in 2020 and then I don't know why I stopped. I think it was a combination of the upstairs was getting messy and it got very cold in this basement. So I kind of stopped and we restarted it in May of 2021. And we had started by focusing in this front area. We started with the front of the basement. It's kind of where we had some of the organized totes stored, and also the overflow from upstairs kind of came down here too. And mostly in the beginning of the summer, we had focused on that organizing and that sorting and giving away a lot of stuff on my Facebook Towns Giving page, and also making sure that we were labeling our bins so that we knew what was in all of these containers. And let's not forget those massive tossy piles that we had for the first 5 weeks. And I was really proud of myself. I really had a lot of momentum going, and each and every week we let go of so much stuff. And of course, you know me, it was very important for me to recycle as much as we can. But because we were dedicated to it each and every week, we had opened up the front area. Now, this is what it looks like now, and it's still opened up. We still have a nice section open up. And do we still have some work to do? Sure, but that's okay. And yes, the old hot water heater is still here. Hubby he just works so much overtime, and he will get it to the scrap metal soon. But look, for the most part, we can still walk in this area. Now, this has become kind of the keep section. There's a lot of totes here, like over here. You can see that here's where I ended up putting the craft bins. They are labeled. I know it's in here. And as we had decluttered the other 2 sections that I'm going to show you, this area kind of became our keep pile, right? Here's some empty bins, of course, so we're going to be using that. But this section became the keep pile with bins labeled. So when we get to the organizational part and trying to figure out the layout of the basement, at least we're going to have everything ready to go and know where it is. The next area we ended up tackling was over here. Now, a lot of my hoarding has to do with ADHD, and I tend to jump around to see what feels good in my heart to declutter. And I wanted to do this section because in 2020, when we were decluttering the basement, I never touched it. So I thought it was good to start to open up this space. And for the second half of summer, after 4th of July, that's when our focus was solely in this area. And each and every week, we went through it. And there was a lot of sentimental things, and there was a lot of paper in this area. And paper is the bane of my existence because I have so much of it. And because it overwhelms me, I just kind of, store it in the basement. But as you can see, each and every week, we were consistent with our tossy piles. Every week we were letting go, we were giving stuff away, we were recycling as much as we can. And this is when I really realized how big my tossy piles were getting, because now today you can see that it's still upkept. We still have the open space, and that section is still opened up really nicely. We didn't re-hoard it. We didn't put more things back down into it. So we were able to open up this section, and it feels really good because honestly, the only thing that kind of went in this area were these organizational totes that we kind of moved out of the way from the play area that we were trying to create. And yeah, there's just a couple of labeled bins here, but for the most part, the space is still opened up. And the third area we decluttered was this corner over here, inspired by my Tyler, because last year in the end of 2020, he so excitedly asked this to be a playroom for Christmas 2021, and his eyes lit up. And he said in the beginning of September, "Oh, Mommy, I can't wait. My play area is going to be ready soon because it'll be Christmas in a few months." So you know, as a mama, to hear your child say that, it fueled my heart to be determined and really start decluttering this area. That way he can have this area ready for him so that he can put up a little Christmas tree and decorate it. So I knew that I was fueled by his desire, and we had some really good tossy piles the past 4 weeks. And I have to admit, this has been my favorite section to declutter. We did amazing. We have really been chopping away, and I know in the next few weeks, this play area will be ready for him. Look, he's already come down and took one of the toys and started playing with them. Like, I mean, how doesn't that motivate you? Now, this is looking across from the new play area. And yes, we still have some work ahead of us. And this is also a reminder that hoarding disorder is a mental disorder. It is stemmed from anxiety and depression and PTSD and ADHD. And it takes time to go through this. I have hoarded my entire life. I've known this since childhood. So that's why it might take me a little longer than everybody else to clean out their space, because I'm literally deprogramming my entire way of life. I'm totally changing who I am at my core. So it's just gonna take a little longer than, let's say, maybe someone who just wants to declutter a mess. And if you struggle with hoarding disorder, or maybe just have an overwhelming amount of clutter and don't know where to start, I want you to know that you can do this too. You just gotta start with baby step decluttering. Declutter what feels right within your heart and go at your own pace. You don't have to rush and get something done at a certain time if it doesn't feel comfortable within your heart. Know that you can do this one step at a time. My favorite saying is, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with just one step. And that's what we're doing. You can see the progress that we have made all throughout the year. And we're going to continue to do this. Even in wintertime, we're going to do it. I have space heaters now. So that means that we're going to continue decluttering this basement until it is completely decluttered and until we can actually make it into a livable, organized space, which is pretty awesome when you really think about it. And lastly, I'm going to show you the Christmas cave, since the holidays are not that far away. Now, this was from when we did the KonMari method last year on all the Christmas stuff. And the front of the cave is a little messy, but the back of the cave, the actual organizational bins that you can see, that is neat. Now, the front section, a lot of this is from Christmas stuff that we found while decluttering the basement all summer, and also just last minute things that probably got put in here like after the decorations were put away. And this actually got funneled through in here because this is going to be a re-gift for this year. So things kind of got funneled in the front section. But as you can see, the back section is still very organized. All of these bins are labeled. I can see very clearly what is inside of these tubs. So it's still, for the most part, I'm gonna say successful what we did last year, because at least this is going to be easy when we're ready to decorate this year. And I'm sure we can do another declutter and organize video on all of the Christmas stuff again very soon. And there you have it. That is the up-to-date basement tour and where we're at. And as you can see, we did a lot. We really did. We're making amazing progress in here. We're opening up sections, and before you know it, we're going to get the basement that we've always imagined. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for keeping me encouraged along this journey, because I could not have gotten this far without your loving, encouraging messages that you send me every week. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.